We are in the throes of getting ready to head back to school, and for parents and kids alike, that can bring health concerns, and you know as well as I do those end of the summer physicals that you're rushing to get in before the school bell rings. Dr. Alicia Daniels is here this morning from CHI Memorial Pediatric Diagnostic Associates. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
So I kind of raised my hand like this because I was among the ones. I didn't intentionally try to wait until the last minute, but by the time I called to make an appointment for my daughter, the calendar forced me to get in about the day before school starts. It's a busy time for your office.
Oh, very busy. It's a good reminder for families that this is a great time to kind of get that physical in. But for some children who have ongoing health concerns and stuff, we'd potentially like them to do it a little bit earlier in the summer. That way we can address those before school starts back. But it's important regardless of the time to make sure you have your annual physical.
So, you know, you have the benefit when kids are growing up, they find themselves at the pediatrician's office quite often because moms are real concerned about any little cough or sniffle. And plus there's the childhood milestones that you pass. So you get to know their personalities in a very good way. And you counsel both the kids and the parents alike.
Right.
Anxiety is a big part of the conversation, I would think, right now as kids are heading back into school.
Right. Some kids are more anxious than others, and there are certain times, especially transitioning to a new school. So kindergarten, 6th grade, 9th grade, those can be times of anxiety, or if you've moved and you're starting a new school. So for those children, I recommend taking advantage of the open houses that schools provide, or meet your teacher day. That way they can go to the building in advance, see their classroom, know where they're going to go, and that way on the first day some of those jitters about going back are a little bit at ease.
When you mentioned the middle school and high school, by then you have your own schedule, which means you're paired with the friends you want to be paired with, or the classmates perhaps you're a bit intimidated by. So parents have to pay real close attention to those inner workings of their kids as well.
Right. And some children may need this more than others, so kind of know your own child. If you feel like they would benefit from something like that, I would encourage that.
Okay, summertime, we throw caution to the wind, schedules go out the door, and that's a great thing, but now we have to get kids going back to sleep, and that's hard to get that habit built back up.
I recommend at least a week or two before the first day of school going ahead and getting that earlier bedtime, probably around 8:30 or so for the younger kids, and 9 or 9:30 for the older kids. I mean, kids need more sleep than adults, you know, at least 9 or 10 hours depending on their age. So backing that bedtime up a little bit earlier prevents them from being so tired on the first day.
Talk a little bit about bedtime and electronics, if you will, because that's a new thing for, I mean, it's a part of this generation, and it wasn't in years past.
Right.
If they're on their iPads, even their phones, does it really delay their ability to go to sleep at night?
Definitely. So even if you put it in nighttime mode or dimmer mode, that blue light inadvertently keeps your brain stimulated and makes it harder to fall asleep. So I recommend starting an hour before bed, getting a good bedtime routine, and putting those all electronics away at least an hour.
I guess then that means having communication with teachers, because as your kids get older, especially, the school and the pressures of the kids wanting to succeed and do well can kind of dictate sometimes what you're doing within your own family.
Right.
So I guess you have to make it clear to teachers, hey, my child's phone goes off at this time, or iPad goes off at this time.
Right, and especially older children and high school teenagers, a lot of their homework may be electronic, so it's important to establish a good homework routine, like from day one. So set aside this amount of time right whenever they get home. This is our homework time, and then we'll have dinner, and then after that we'll kind of turn our electronics off and try to get settled down and go to bed. And sometimes that actually means taking the phone away and putting it away, because it's hard for those teenagers to put their phone down sometimes.
Okay, let's talk about the start of your day. Breakfast is going to be a lot earlier. People are going to be eating now at 6:30 instead of 8:30.
Right. So it's important to make sure your kids have breakfast, okay? Either do it at home, in the car, or make sure that they have it available to them at school. A lot of schools offer breakfast there, because if they skip breakfast, they're more likely to be fatigued, and they're going to have a harder time focusing in class.
But do you need to try to give them protein in the morning for breakfast? Because if you're giving them sugary things, does that add to the fatigue mid-morning?
It can. I mean, sugary breakfasts can kind of make you energized and then kind of go away quickly. Protein can keep you full longer, but if it's hard for some families, whatever you can get. Okay, granola bar, yogurt, banana. If that's easier for them, I'd rather them have that, than nothing.
Okay, we were joking before the interview started, and I said, well, here you are for back to school, and next thing you know, it'll be talking flu season. I say that tongue in cheek, but not really. So when kids are getting their physicals and shots up to date, is it time to begin thinking about a flu vaccine, or is it too early?
Well, flu, even though there's a peak in the winter months, it technically is a year-round illness, so it's important to always be vigilant about that, and good hand washing and hygiene. We'll get the updated flu vaccine usually around the end of September. So as families are coming in to get their checkup, I usually say, hey, call back at the September, October, and see when we get our flu vaccines in, and then you can come back in for that one.
And she's willing to let you make her be the bad guy tonight. When you're putting your kids to bed, you can say, Dr. Daniels said you have to be in bed by this time to get ready. Still time though to call if you're trying to squeeze in. You'll do your best to get people in before the school year starts.
Oh, definitely. We still have openings each day, and we try to work with families. We know that there's a deadline and you need to have your shot record available for the school, so we're very flexible and we'll get you in.
You're like an accountant in March. Dr. Alicia Daniels at CHI Memorial Pediatric Diagnostic Associates, Glenwood Drive or Gun Barrel Road. Their phone number, easy to remember, 698-BABY. That spells out 2229. We're back after this.